Are you looking for a way to make a little more money? Maybe Uber's not cutting it for you. Have you thought about, I don't know, delivering drugs? Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone. Mark here from Uber Hints. You know, if picking up and dropping off Mary isn't cutting it for you, maybe you ought to think about picking up and dropping off Mary Jane. What am I talking about? You've got it. Marijuana, cannabis, pot. This might be the most interesting story that I read all year. And this comes at me from cheddar.com. And here's a headline. Caliva, I think it's pronounced Caliva, C-A-L-I-V-A, Caliva, lures gig workers from Uber, Lyft, DoorDash to cannabis industry. Now, before you turn this off, give it a listen, because this really is kind of intriguing, if you don't have a moral problem. On-demand cannabis industry is seducing Uber drivers with the promise of better benefits and career growth. Can you imagine if you had to come home to your friends and family and say, I'm looking at a new career. What are you doing? I'm delivering dope. Okay, here we go. Caliva, a Silicon-based marijuana company, is waging an extensive recruitment campaign to hire drivers from popular ride-hailing and delivery companies, including Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash. What we found is that a lot of drivers who normally drive for Uber, Lyft, or DoorDash are really looking to not having just a full-time or part-time job with benefits, but they're looking to be part of something, said Caliva CEO Dennis O'Malley in an interview with Cheddar. Caliva offered, now this is cool, listen to this. Caliva offers its drivers full pay, benefits, a 401k. You can have a retirement plan delivering pot. O'Malley told Cheddar that California regulations, now this is important too, require that cannabis delivery drivers are full-time employees of a licensed cannabis entity, which in turn gives gig economy workers a more stable income. So, because of the law that says you can't have just any yuck off the street delivering your product, you have to have an employee of a licensed entity. So knowing that it has to be an employee, and it says here a full-time employee at that, you may have an opportunity to make just as much, if not more, than you're making now driving for Uber, Lyft, or DoorDash. Plus, you could be getting benefits. It's crazy. Uber, on the other hand, has frequently been the subject of criticism for its drivers' policy. Well, we're aware of that, aren't we? As independent contractors, drivers typically have not been granted access to the benefits received by the company's full-time employees. Caliva's company has grown to just over 400 people. So it's a small company, but that's not too small, is it? 400 people? About a quarter of those are drivers, according to O'Malley. The company is ramping up its delivery efforts to meet the demands of consumers ordering marijuana to their own houses. So people don't want to get out. They don't want to connect face-to-face with their dealer, right? They want, I don't know if Caliva is app-driven or what it is, but they want to call up or order through the app and, you know, have their joints delivered to them. One of our largest initiatives is being able to continue expanding out direct-to-consumer business. It says out. I think it means our, because that would make more sense to me. Expanding our direct-to-consumer businesses. And we do that in partnership with ease.com, O'Malley said. So it sounds like you're not going to go to Caliva in order to seek employment, delivering marijuana. You're going to go to ease.com. That's EAZE.com. Marijuana delivery platform Ease, the so-called Uber of pot, is reportedly in the process of closing a $65 million Series B round at a pre-money valuation of around $250 million. That's not chump change. Granted, it's not the $120 billion that Uber is looking for, but it's some money. That kind of financial backing could be the key factor in Ease's and Caliva's ability to become a major force in the competitive on-demand economy. What do you think? Do you think that there is money in delivering pot? Do you want to be a part of it? Do you have a problem with it? I would love to hear what you have to say. I know a lot of you may have qualms about the moral and ethical implications of delivering marijuana in areas where it's legal. There is no legal barriers, right? But I would love to hear your comments down below. So let me hear it. Now, this next story comes to us from cnet.com, and it really is of interest to those of you who are wondering about the IPO and is Uber going to make money? And if I invest, will I make money? You have to read a little bit into the story, but I think it's interesting nonetheless. The headline reads, Uber Lyft IPOs to mint next batch of Bay Area millionaires. Oh, does that sound intriguing? But wait till you see the turn that this piece takes. Along with sourdough bread and possibly steep hills and a Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco is known for having more billionaires than any U.S. city west of the Mississippi. I didn't know that. 74 to be exact. 74 billionaires living in the city of San Francisco alone. That's not to mention the nearly 150 millionaires that live in the Bay Area. That's a pretty impressive number. However, this is what it's getting at here. Those numbers are about to multiply. So they're making quite an assumption that there are going to be more millionaires and possibly billionaires due to the IPO rollout of Uber. Let's look at their thinking, and then I'm going to give you my analysis of this. If all goes as planned, 2019 will be a year of tech IPOs. San Francisco-based companies including Airbnb, Pinterest, and Slack are expected to issue initial public offerings along with ride-hailing rivals Uber and Lyft. Analysts think Uber, the world's highest value private company. Now, we know that we've heard that highest valued private company, but they're all over the board as exactly what that value is. So I'm really looking to see what happens when this IPO rolls out. Could pull in as much as $120 million from public funding, making it the biggest IPO in U.S. history. It's huge, Matthew Kennedy, senior IPO market strategist for Renaissance Capital, said of Uber's potential valuation. Its IPO will result in a lot of overnight millionaires. Now, here is what I'm thinking. Who is it going to make millionaires of? Because my thinking is it's not going to be making millionaires of the investors. It's probably going to be making millionaires of the people who already own shares in Uber, right? Remember when our friend Tricky Travie Kalanick sold his, not all of it, but he sold a chunk of his ownership in the company, and it made him a billionaire. And I wonder if that's not what they're looking at. If they're talking about all this money comes in, and there might be some people that take this as an opportunity to get out. Hey, all this stuff that I own right now is suddenly going to be worth a lot more money. So I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to bail. And then I'm going to be on easy street. But it really doesn't say anything about the potential for a profit with Uber. All right? Uber has not made a profit in 9 years. And we're seeing all these things that you hear me reporting on. Now, I am not an investment guy, right? I am not a financial guy. I'm just a guy who looks at things from an average guy's perspective. And, I read some things that the so-called experts write, and then I go from there. And it seems to me that if they haven't made money in 9 years, what is suddenly going to change? What's going to change? I see what they're trying to do already, and you're all seeing it, as they try to cut back on drivers' pay, and they're trying to amp up ways that they can continue to bring in money from passengers. But right now, the only source of income is driving. That's the only source of income. Everything else is an output, right? And they're hoping that long term, hey, if we put a lot of money in self-driving cars, maybe it'll have a return. If we put a lot of money in flying cars, maybe it'll have a return. But that's going to be a long, long way out. Now, my next video that will probably run tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow, you will see why I am so sure that self-driving cars, and especially flying cars, are not on the horizon anytime soon. I know a lot of you are disagreeing with me. A lot of you are saying, well, wait a minute, I see them already. They've been in Arizona. They've been in Pennsylvania. Wait, stay tuned. But the interesting thing about this piece was that it's going to be making millionaires of somebody. I have a feeling if I take a few $1,000s and stick it into Uber, it's probably not going to make a millionaire of me. What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear what you have to say on this one too. Leave them below. As always, I read everything you write. It doesn't mean that I'm able to respond to it all, but I love hearing what you have to say. So please like and share the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe and stay tuned for my next video because it might give you some insight into what I think is the future of self-driving cars. So long, everyone.